Hi, my name is Hannah, and this is my beautiful grandmother, who's 97 years old, and she actually lives here in the Chicago area, and she's still alive, yes. Over 70 years ago, my grandmother left her home in North Korea, right before the Korean peninsula was divided. But at that time, she didn't know that she would never be able to return again. She left behind her husband and 2 children, and she never talks about that part of her life. So actually, my first encounter with North Korea was not from her stories, but was from a random book that I picked up. This book was about a young man by the name of Kang Cho-hwan. As a young boy, his grandfather was accused of betraying the North Korean state, and shortly thereafter was forcibly disappeared. At the age of 9 years old, Kang and his parents and his grandmother were arrested and put into one of North Korea's brutal political prison camps called Yodok. You see, North Korea utilizes a system of collective punishment. That means that up to 3 generations of a person's family can be punished for the infraction of a single crime. So, for 10 years, until he was 19 years old, Kang and his family lived in horrific and inhumane conditions where rape, starvation, torture, and even execution were commonplace. I learned that Yodok was just one camp out of an entire network of political prison camps that still exist today, where about 100,000 people are imprisoned. These camps have been compared to the Soviet gulags, to the Nazi concentration camps, and they're used to instill fear in the people and ultimately to punish any form of dissent. North Korea is one of the greatest challenges facing humanity today. It is widely recognized as one of the most repressive and isolated countries in the world. The North Korean government attempts to deny any form of political, economic, and information freedom. And the people are denied even the most basic rights: freedoms of speech, movement, religion, and access to information. I learned that every year, thousands of North Korean people attempt to escape, and they make that dangerous journey. Today, it's estimated that 30,000 North Korean refugees are hiding in China. And they're hiding because if they are caught by the Chinese authorities, they will be forcibly sent back to North Korea, where they may be punished severely, in some cases even to the point of death. I was shocked to find out that over 70% of North Korean female refugees are trafficked, are sold to Chinese men, or are forced to work in brothels, online sex chat rooms, and karaoke bars. When I learned all of this, I couldn't help but to wonder why there wasn't more attention on this issue. Where was all of the support? But you see, when the world thinks about North Korea, it's usually nuclear weapons and high politics. North Korea has become part threat, part tragedy, and part joke. You know, what are the average person like you and I supposed to do about an issue like North Korea? It's often portrayed as this impossible issue to solve because what could we do about mysterious dictators and nuclear weapons? But this perception has led to grave inaction. So we knew that our work had to start here. We knew that we had to change the narrative on North Korea to focus instead on the people rather than the politics. We knew that if we could change the way the world sees North Korea, that we could mobilize an international movement that could bring more resources and more attention to the North Korean people. So we created our own media so that we could tell these stories of the North Korean people. And we developed grassroots programs that could educate and empower young students to engage with this issue in a meaningful way. We worked with journalists and filmmakers so that we could broaden the perspective and the discussion on North Korea, because they're the ones that are essentially shaping and perpetuating these perceptions of North Korea. But we didn't want to be all talk and no action. So we asked our supporters to help us to rescue North Koreans who needed to find a way to leave China. And so by utilizing a 300,000-mile modern-day underground railroad, we are helping North Korean refugees escape from China to Southeast Asia and to make it safely to countries like South Korea and the United States. And thank you. And once they arrive in these safe countries, our resettlement programs are providing them with education, case management, mentorship, and financial assistance. It costs $3,000 to bring one person to freedom and to provide them with the critical resettlement support that they need. And it's exciting because this entire journey to freedom is being completely funded by our extraordinary movement of supporters around the world. Since 2010, we have helped to bring more than 270 North Koreans to freedom, and we have helped to reunite more than 100 of them with their families. And once North Koreans resettle and they begin their new lives, they are playing one of the most important roles on the outside that is helping to promote change inside the country. And it's a role that only they can play. You see, some of these North Korean refugees are able to reconnect with their families inside the country. Now, North Korea is still very closed off, but they're able to do this through illicit networks of brokers and through these Chinese cell phones that are being smuggled into the border regions using Chinese cell phone towers. They're able to connect with their family members again and are sending money and information into the country. And this money and information is helping to change North Korean society from the bottom up. It's estimated that every year, $10 to $15 million is being sent from this community of defectors back into the country. Min Sung is just one example of these individuals. Shortly after resettling in South Korea, he was able to reconnect with his family inside the country. He has already sent almost $10,000 back to his family members. And that money has empowered them to literally be able to change their own situation. With this money, his family is able to buy the food and the goods that they need. They're able to protect themselves and their family, and essentially helping them to create more independence apart from the regime. You see, over the last 20 years, it is the North Korean people who have been quietly driving important social, economic, and information changes that are happening. Refugees like Min Sung are playing a crucial role in helping to accelerate these important changes. We believe that if we can continue to work together to accelerate these important changes, that we will see a North Korea that is radically transformed by the North Korean people from the bottom up. We believe that the North Korean people will achieve their liberty in our lifetime. We exist simply to help bring that day forward, and we invite you to join us in doing so. Thank you.